Okay, welcome back. So this is where I'm going to talk about the task 7. Okay, for whether you do this in week 3 or maybe this goes into week 4, I'm not sure. Right. So task 7 is the main task here, which you're going to have your first sort of assessed piece of work in year 7. Okay. So what you need to do is you are going to take your imagination of the future and you are going to apply it to a country. Now, I have chosen a map of Bahrain, but you have the flexibility to get another blank map of another country and do any country you like. Okay, but the resources you are given are of Bahrain, and it's very straightforward to stick to that. So your teacher would have shared with you this map of Bahrain. Okay, so you have it on an A4 sized Google slide, and you can edit it however you like. But there you go, there's your blank map. Okay, so we are going to say this is Bahrain 2030. Okay, and you are going to decorate this map as if it is 2030 in Bahrain, what you would hope to see to help solve or achieve these sustainable development goals. Okay, now provide your map. Right, so it is probably easier if you print the map and then you draw on it. Okay, but if you can't print it, you can easily do it in docs, or you can use the one that's been shared with you in slides. It's totally up to you. Now, when you do this, I want you to think about what in your maps of your country promotes health and well-being, goal 3. How will you make sure that you design a country where everyone is included? So we're solving inequality. How will you ensure that the nature is protected? How will you ensure energy is sourced from non-polluting sources? And there are lots of other questions I could help hint to guide you towards solving or achieving these goals. Okay, now this is going to be graded. So on the next slide, I've got a rough grading criteria showing from working below to working towards, working within, working above, exceptional performance. Right, so if you create a basic map with some ideas on how to achieve one or more of the goals, but it's quite simplistic, then you are going to be down sort of working below, maybe edge into working towards. Okay, now I'm going to show you an example of how I include a photo, how I include an arrow pointing to the place on the map that I've identified the goals that my solution helps achieve, and give reasons for the location of where I've put it. I've just said Bahrain's going to have this in 2030. I've kind of said where it's going to have it. And then you kind of get your marks for a well-presented map. So it's not a mess, it's clear and easy for the teacher to interpret and know that you know what you're talking about. Okay, and you demonstrate what the country might look like in the future. And then if you can link specific projects from the videos that we showed up here, or other projects that you know about, so from task 5, 6 and 7, 4, 5 and 6, then you can link them to here. So such as if you linked the Discardius project and said how this could help solve problems in Bahrain and where it would, then that would also get you towards that exceptional performance. Okay, now this is my example map here. So I've given it a title, Bahrain 2030. Okay, I've only done one to help you. Now, first of all, I thought, right, the energy in Bahrain is going to come from solar panels because Bahrain gets so much sunshine. Okay, so I'm going to put a solar farm down here in the south of Bahrain, and I'm going to zoom in on what I've written there. So importantly, I've got a photo which I just looked up on the internet, solar panels, and then I got an arrow using this tool here. You know how to draw arrows in Google Slides, and I pointed to that area. That is really important because that is linking this solution to an area in Bahrain. Okay, then you need to annotate it. You can't get really past working towards unless you annotate your map. So I put solar panels will be installed in the south to provide electricity, so that's in black there. So that's a nice little annotation. That gets me up the mark scheme. Okay, now this next green bit here, this energy is carbon free and helps ensure there is clean air and also combats climate change. So that green bit sort of shows how these solar panels solve the problems that exist today. Okay, then the red bit links it directly to the goals. So goals 7, 13 and 15. And I could go into more detail there. So I go, look, goal 7 is renewable energy. Solar power is renewable energy. Goal 13 is climate action. So if we're using solar powers to produce electricity, we're not burning fossil fuels like we burn gas, natural gas in Bahrain for our electricity. It's all natural gas in Bahrain right now. And then 15, life on land. Because we're not burning gas or other fossil fuels, There's no emissions, so therefore life on land isn't suffering from air pollution and everyone is healthier, which could also link to number 3. You could also link this to number 9 because infrastructure is all about energy provision. So they do cross over. Now, so the more detail you go into here, then the higher chance you've got of getting an exceptional performance. I've also written here, I've located these here as they are near enough to the city, because Bahrain's small, so not very far away. If you put solar panels really far away from a city in a big country like USA, then by the time the energy gets to the city, it's worn out, it can't travel that far. So I've located these here as they're near enough to the city but require plenty of open space, and there down here in Bahrain is plenty of open space. Now, I was going to do this, but I thought it was going to get a bit complicated. So over here, you should know this area. So this is the main part of Bahrain. We are in Isa town in school. Some of you live over in Sa. I live over in Amwaj. Now, this area here is all the sea, and this area is all the sea here. Now, what you can do with these areas, I'm going to show you here. So I'm just going to Google, look, solar panels. So power on water, right? And then we can get a load of images, which is where you're going to get your pictures from, and we can see that solar panels are starting to be put on water for various reasons. One, the water doesn't get in the way of building or on land. Also, the water helps cool the solar panels, and solar panels don't work well in lots of heat. So, I mean, you could go really advanced, say, I'm going to put solar panels on here, or you could do wind turbines on water. Now, Bahrain actually has quite reliable wind, not high winds, but reliable winds, and these wind turbines don't need that much wind to produce a lot of power. So again, close to shore, easy to access, protected from the waves in there. Ideal locations for solar power on water or wind power on water. Okay. Now, I've only talked about energy there, so you need to have a range of your problems solved by your pictures on your map. There we go. Okay. Now you could make your map. You could make this page A3 if you want to squeeze more information on there. But you need to be looking to solve for a middle grade at least 3 goals, for a top grade at least 5 goals. Okay. I'll add that to the grading criteria. Okay. So that's the main task, and that is what you're going to submit on Google Classroom, and that is what's going to be marked. Okay. All right. Key point. This video up here is a vision of the world in 2050, which is not 2030, but it was the most inspiring video I could find. So you can watch it to get some idea on what the world might look like in the future. And that might inspire you into what pictures and what solutions you might put in to solve these or achieve these sustainable development goals. Okay, thank you for listening to my video.